Jude.
Show comments
right.
on stage.
Thank God for air conditioning is all I have to say.
Was it hot in Minnesota?
Oh,
108.
the heat index is like, yeah.
100, well, the index is like 115.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty all week.
Yeah, there's like a heat, what are they calling it? A heat dome over a lot of the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yep.
The whole
Sure.
Midwest.
And we're in the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, we just had that last week.
Okay, the banner's going up.
Here we go.
I'm recording on this. Is it actually recording? Yes, it is. I'm recording on this.
There we go.
Yep,
Hang on,
live with the countdown.
TBP.
good,
What
that's
is
good.
the date today? The 29th.
29th. Yep.
26. Okay, that's recording, and we are good to go.
Welcome to the Tom Barnard podcast with the family, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers at minnesotapersonalinjury.com with
Co-host Kathryn Burtt.
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
And Kristyn Burtt.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So one thing I want to mention before we cut, there's a good part, a really good part, and a part that people are probably not going to like, but it's what it is.
Oh, dear.
That is what it is.
Kristyn, you lived here how long?
2 years.
2 years. As soon as, because Kathryn and I drove back from Florida a few weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, whatever it is now. And the second you get into Minnesota, the foliage is magnificent, which I pointed out, I guess, 2 weeks ago. But
We've had a lot of rain.
we just took the grandkids to the pool today. The entire pool is surrounded by elm and what's the other tree that's in here?
Let's say oak.
Elm and oak, whatever it is. There are a bunch of pine trees. And then along the bottom, there's all these bushes that are, the foliage in this state is just beautiful.
Foliage.
And you would think that people looking around and go, God, I'm so great. What a beautiful place to live. And it's so peaceful and all of that. But on the other hand of that, returning after being gone for 7 months, I have never seen Minnesotans be so mean as they are right now. Is that everywhere because of this election stuff and the war and all that?
I don't think so. I was in Lake Tahoe last week, and it was delightful. Everybody was very, very nice.
Well, they're not here, and I don't know what that is all about. A couple of days ago, I'm leaving a building, and there's a young woman, probably 25, right behind me. And it's for those 2-door exits. We go through the first door and then a little bit, and then you go through the second door. So I opened the door and held it for her, and she walked through the door. Then I walked through the door behind her. She grabbed the other door, went through it, and let it close. I mean, I thought, I just tried to show you what you're supposed to do, and you do the exact opposite. Is that to make a point?
Hey, maybe she was like having a panic attack and wasn't doing.
Believe me, I saw by her body language.
There's rude people everywhere.
And also, you just don't know what's going on with other people. Always assume positive intent. Assume a
positive intent of slamming a door.
But just maybe she had something going on, I don't know.
Why do you have to argue with everything I say now, Alex? Explain that to me. You got trippo now?
A what?
A trippo.
What's a trippo?
A hippie.
A trippo?
Never mind.
I've never heard of that term
I haven't
before.
either.
Well, I will tell you this. Everybody I've talked to about this agrees with me 100% that Minnesota's got an edge to it now that it's never had. So it's not just me saying it. Other people are the ones that pointed it out, and I have noticed they're right. It's just people are not as nice as they used to be, which is it's really unfortunate.
Well, I hope you encounter more nice people in your day because
There's still a lot of really nice people, don't get me wrong. But when somebody's got an attitude now in this state, it's a real attitude. I've noticed that in the last guy. And I was told, like I said, by several people coming home, you're not going to like that part. And I thought, oh, it can't be that bad. No, it is. It is that bad, unfortunately. So that's why we need good news out of Hollywood.
Good news out of Hollywood. I'm going to tell this to Alex. I went to the Minions and Monsters premiere yesterday.
Oh, how was that?
Good.
It's good. It's a really cute movie. I think it's going to do massive numbers at the box office, of course. But I will say that I was helping walk talent down the red carpet, and I got to walk John Chu, director of Wicked, John Chu. Yeah. And 4 of his 5 kids. He's got a very young family. I think the youngest I was with yesterday was like 2.5. He has a 1-year-old at home too, but they were so cute. It was just, he had the 4 kids. Obviously, I think the wife was home with the littlest one, but, they were all so cute and so excited to see Minions. And I felt for him because we did the premiere was at the Dolby Theater where the Oscars are. It's a very big venue. And when you do Oscars, the mall, because it's in a mall, the mall is usually closed. But because it was a big premiere, but it wasn't like the Oscars. There were fans everywhere. And I was like, just trying to make sure all of his little ones were not being attacked. But there were so many fans like around and accessible to all of the celebrities. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
It was very scary. And I just said, hey, do you mind if I grab one of your kids? Like the littlest one was just kind of lagging behind because I'm like, I'm not feeling comfortable getting you to all of these photo spots.
Yeah.
Because we had to cut through crowds and I had security, but it just wasn't enough because there was 5 of them and they were all little. I mean, I think the oldest one that we had with us was probably like 6 or 7. So,
oh boy.
Yeah.
And everyone was, subsequently younger than that. So I just was like, do you mind if I take one of your kids by the hand just so I feel okay? Because I wasn't feeling good. But it was a really big, fun premiere. It's fun to see those like big spectacles when Hollywood does them. There were Minions all over the carpet and they brought in Hollywood lookalikes off of a big old tour bus, and there was a singing contest, and then they hired extras to dress like Minions in the fan stands. It was wild. I was overwhelming even for me.
How are their Minions all over the place? Do they have like a big Disney type costume on, or?
They had Disney costume type of, I should say Universal type of costume since it's a Universal movie.
Right.
But so they were dressed like that. Plus they had robotic Minions that were about this big, and they had remote operators, and so the little Minions would go down the carpet. It was really cute.
Oh, God.
I bet it was cute.
It was. There's a few photos on my Instagram story. I think they should still be there if anyone wants to see them. So
cute. You know what's interesting? I've never heard of this movie in my life, and I have young children that I feel like I should be fed this information every day, and this is the first time I'm hearing of Minions and monsters.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's
Yeah.
not open yet. So
I know, but I
it's
had
not
no idea this was even happening. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Like, I knew Toy Story 5 was coming, but I had no idea about this. And like,
interesting.
yeah,
Well, July 1st, you've got, if it rains over the 4th of July holiday, everyone has a movie to take the kids to.
which it's supposed to, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, is it
So-
really?
Well, but I mean, summer weather in Minnesota can change
Yeah.
day to day. So
Yeah.
who
But
knows?
if you have one of those like all day rainy, especially if it's hot too, even just getting out of the heat, because I know a lot of people are going to have 100-degree temperatures, going to the movies for 2 hours is a good way to break up the heat.
That is a really good way to break
True.
the heat and get out of the house.
What's
Yes.
interesting about that? There's a like a neighborhood pool here, right?
Community pool.
A community pool kind of a deal. And our grandkids went into it and their friends went into it, and there was nobody else in the pool. I thought on a hot day like this, it'd be packed. There was no one else in that pool.
One
Does-
lady came in and she said, I want to swim laps. Can they stay over on this side? And everybody did. And everybody coexisted. It was lovely.
There you go.
Great. Is
Very-
there a lot of sun on the pool at that time? Because I usually go to the pool when the shade starts to hit our pool.
Oh yeah.
It is pretty, but all of a sudden we had some nice cloud cover, which was a godsend.
Yeah.
Because the humidity
nice.
is just, I
Yeah.
put on some glasses because I'm trying to put up this little fence to keep Jude on our patio back there. I put them on instant, complete humidity, like fogged over completely within a second. That's how humid it is. So
I was
it's-
laughing because a storm came into Tahoe. Here I am thinking, by the way, I went on vacation by myself for 3 days last week. I was hoping you guys would broadcast because I had the most beautiful room with the mountains in the background. And I was like, you guys, this would have been killer background. But my brother had a vacation and then he couldn't go. And he's like, do you want it? And nobody could go with me because it was like middle of the week. So I just went and I worked remotely. But here I am with and I had checked the weather, but an unexpected storm rolled through Tahoe. So they're like, it may snow. I'm like, I am not dressed for it may snow. And it wound up snowing at the upper elevations. And then we kind of had a windstorm blow through. But the property that I stayed at, I can say it now because I'm no longer there, the Hyatt Regency was kind of in a bowl. So we were protected. So when the sun was out, it was warmish, 70 warmish, and they had a really nice, hot heated pool. So I just spent half my time there. It was great.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, pina colada by the pool and then just go and dip into the heated pool or the hot tub. I was happy.
Yeah, I follow this guy who talks about the sun's effect on all of our weather, and it's doing some sort of crazy flare thing that it hasn't done in a long time, and that's why we're having earthquakes. And there was hail in Boise, Idaho, which never happens this time of year. All of these crazy weather events are related to the sun somehow.
Interesting, because Tahoe, I spoke to a lot of locals, because when you're traveling alone, you're just kind of like, I should talk to someone today. And so I would talk to some of the locals because I went to some of the local eateries, and they said they had very little snowfall this winter. So it was a really bad snow season for them. And that Reno, because you fly into Reno, Nevada, and then you drive up to the mountains into Tahoe. It has become the hottest city in the US.
Really?
Yes. So they are experiencing unusually warm temperatures throughout much of the year instead of having their typical winters and things like that. But the Hyatt right where you stay is also right by Billionaires Row on the lake. So my walks were pretty incredible. You were seeing these unbelievable estates on the lake. It was gorgeous.
That is a very pretty area.
Yes, I loved it. Loved it. Loved being up there. Loved the fresh air. Like to go back and do the South Lake because I was on the north side of the lake for the next time. But did a lot of hiking, a lot of fresh air. It was good, even though it was a little bit chillier than I expected.
What is the city on the north side of the lake? We stayed up there.
I was in Incline Village. I know that
I think it was Incline Village.
Incline Village is the north side, and that's where Billionaires Row is.
That's where we stayed. Yep. That's where we stayed.
That area. When did you go?
Oh, it was a long, long time ago. There was an Olympic Village up the mountain, and we rode mountain bikes up there.
Yep.
Yeah, that whole area is just beautiful.
I would be curious if you recognized it because a lot of people moved in during the pandemic. A lot of Silicon Valley moved in there and just started building massive houses.
Yeah, we haven't been there in so long. I'm sure we wouldn't recognize anything.
Yeah, the locals, some of them are like, okay, this is great, but it's very, very hard now for just the average person to live in Tahoe, so that the businesses have to create a shuttle for people in Reno to get up there because people can no longer afford to live in Tahoe. That's how they get their employees in and out every single day.
God. Wow, that's insane.
Which I've got to imagine if there is a large snowstorm, you probably have to have some type of emergency housing hotel situation because people aren't going to be able to get up and down the mountain in a snowstorm.
They get a lot of snow. They usually get a lot of snow up there in the winter time.
Yeah. They didn't this year, but we'll see what happens. I know every year this is an El Nino year, so we'll see how this plays out for everyone.
The chat is mentioning that South Dakota was having 130 mile per hour winds.
Oh.
And the magnetic poles are gearing up to switch again after about 75,000 years. So maybe that's... Have you seen any of that footage on the earthquake in Venezuela, right?
Venezuela.
Oh,
several soccer stars lost kids and family, wives and family members.
They're showing all kinds of rescue operations, dogs that were under the rubble for 3 days. A baby just got rescued after 3 days.
I'm glad they're okay.
There's so many people missing. It's bad. I didn't know that buildings would flatten like that. What was it, 7.5?
It was. I'll tell you, we had a 7.1 here. I think it was 2018, I'm going to say. And it wasn't located in California. It was located in Nevada. And that 7.1 we didn't have a lot of damage, but just the feeling of it is so scary. So if you're at the epicenter and that's a 7.5, I cannot imagine how that feels.
Well, I mean, those large, I don't know if they build for earthquakes in that area. I don't know, like California does, right?
Yes, we have a lot of, not only have the codes been updated since the Northridge quake, but there's also been a lot of retrofitting on older buildings that survived the Northridge quake.
Yeah, because I mean, those buildings were just toppled right over, just like it's crazy, the footage. Ugh,
that's scary. That's scary. And Japan has a lot of earthquakes.
I think that it's going to be a bad couple of years with this sun thing and the magnetic poles and all this stuff that's going on. It's going to be bad.
You know, I also Kentucky, the flash flooding.
Semi trucks are.
I watched a video this morning of a flash flood in a neighborhood. The mother was out there with like her preschooler on the porch as everything's rising, and I'm like, did you not learn anything from following that Camp Mystic tragedy last year? I'm like, get to higher ground. If you have life vests, because they live on a creek, I'm like, get them on. Sometimes people's survival skills just drive me bananas. Because I'm like, people, this is dangerous.
It's better to be safe than sorry, right?
Yeah. And I'm a prepper. I'm like, I'm the girl that has the fire blanket for the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, I've got my earthquake kit. I have my fire kit. The cats have emergency kits. We're prepped.
What's in a cat emergency kit?
Food, water. And then we also have like disposable litter boxes.
Oh.
So that you literally just rip them and rip the paper off, and then there's litter boxes right there. They're plastic. You toss them out once they've been used, which is great. I mean, it's good for like a 3-day type of situation if you had to go and evacuate. It's not a permanent solution, but but they each have their own gallon of water that we rotate once a year. We have enough. Everyone has enough water for they always say you should have enough for 3 days. And once a year, I'm like, oh, we got to drink all of our water. And we drink the water and we go and buy new fresh water. We're ready, you guys. But I will say that when we had the fires in January 2025, we didn't really need any of our personal emergency kit, but we actually brought the cat's emergency kit with them because we had to take them elsewhere. So that was good.
Alex is crawling underneath the screen.
I know, it's weird having so much time off. Andy's surgery went well. He's still on a liquid diet and everything. He can't wait to eat soft cheese.
Yes, cheese. You like to eat cheese.
Soft cheese sounds delicious.
I guess
a good brie.
That would be nice. He was on like broth for 3 or 4 days. Now he can have like a smoothie or something. I don't think he's already lost 8 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any weight to lose, so that's kind of tough.
Yeah. So, but he's feeling better and better all the time. And we're through a week already.
Oh yeah, he'll be back, I think, Wednesday. Is he coming back Wednesday?
Yeah, the only reason why he wasn't here today is he had his doctor's follow-up. So, what surgery did he have again? He had a hiatal hernia repair, which somehow they take your stomach, the top of your stomach, and wrap it around your esophagus to make it smaller so you don't get the gastric reflux going up. It sounds really weird to me.
It does.
Who thought this is a great idea? You know what we can do, but I guess it works. And he has some other thing. Something about his diaphragm was in the wrong spot.
Yep.
I don't know.
That came from the Brandt side, by the way, not my family.
You're not taking any credit for it.
I told Fawn that I had to be there early because I was running the board. And she's like, why? And I was like, Andy has another doctor's appointment. And she's like, when is he going to get surgery on his brain? I feel like he's had surgery on everything else.
Let's hope not.
Hopefully never. I was like, that's a really bad thing to have surgery on.
Yeah, he's real sick of having things too. I mean,
oh God, yes.
Yeah, nobody wants thyroid cancer or any of the other stuff that he's had. But
I can see that.
Hopefully he'll have a nice spell of good health for a while.
Good health is health is wealth, as they say.
Yes, it is.
He deserves that.
Take a quick break. Be right back in 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen a case where someone decided to represent themselves in court? I never even thought of doing that. Did it go well? Of course not, because law is hard. That's why I recommend Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury lawyers to help you navigate the labyrinth that is the justice system. If you've been injured and need legal help, just visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com or call 320-259-5414 to talk to one of the great lawyers at Bradshaw and Bryant. What do you think of that, Ack?
I actually was in a jury for months upon months with a man that decided to represent himself
Oh, God.
in a
One
double murder.
it was a double murder trial. It wasn't even like a shoplifting.
And he was already in jail for murdering somebody else.
There you go.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean,
I know.
see,
Hopefully
people's
that goes
survival
well.
skills. Again, see, it's you're like,
When you run around murdering family members, you're probably not the most thoughtful person who can do A, B, C in a line. It just doesn't happen.
most likely that is, a mental health issue.
I was trying to think while
Please.
you guys were talking. I have never in my life that I can think of ever wanted to murder anyone. I mean, how do you get that in your brain that, oh, well, I should murder them? What?
Your brain's not wired right. It's not.
I guess, I guess that has to be what it is, as a matter of fact.
I mean, you watch Dateline and you're like, oh, here we go. It's the love triangle. And we think instead of divorcing them, I might as well just murder them. And you're like, how does it get to that place?
Just get a divorce already.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I mean, it's so I mean, I've got to imagine that Josh Mankiewicz and everyone else on that show must just be like, oh, come on, people. Just get the divorce. It's cheaper.
All right.
yeah, you don't end up in jail for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and it usually is over money. Like there's something
Yep.
tied to it. Oftentimes it's a very expensive life insurance policy, though it seems that's
Yeah.
the motivation. But I'm like, come on. You think just
Yeah.
because you've watched 4 procedurals in your lifetime that you know how to evade the authorities, please.
Well, and you need to know that life insurance attorneys know how to look for murder stuff.
You would think, yes.
They're really
do.
good at that. They're going to investigate it. It's not going to be like, oh, she's dead. And you're standing there with a smoking gun. Here's the money. It's just not going to happen.
And wiping your hard drive clean is really
Yeah.
an admission of guilt.
Oh, they do that? Really? They wipe their hard drive
All the time.
clean?
Restore to factory settings. And you're like, come on, people.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's on my hard drive. Do I even have
You
it?
don't even really do
I don't
it.
really spend
Yeah.
much time
We used to
doing
play
that.
some Tiger Woods golf back in the day, but you're not
was
on your
about it.
computer other than for email.
Email,
and bill
yeah.
paying. That's
Yeah,
about it.
paying bills and email. That's why I'm on the internet.
We just
That's
ran
true.
into a neighbor of ours, and she said that she just moved her 92-year-old mother
Yeah,
into
yep.
assisted living.
Oh, God, this is a
And
great
she said-
punchline.
She says, my mom is just so with it. Her body is failing, but she is great mentally. And she's like, yeah, we moved her into what she calls God's waiting room.
God's waiting room. That's where she's living.
And then she said, it's a beautiful place called the Masonic Home or something.
Yeah, yep.
I think it's in Bloomington.
I think so.
You've been in that building many times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
I have. That's right. It is beautiful. Anyway, so she calls her mom. How are you doing? Are you settling in? She says, I'm just sitting here watching some murder porn.
Okay.
A 92-year-old.
I'm like, I love your mother.
She is sharp as a tack. There is no question about that.
murder porn.
I know we were
from a
talking. It's like,
92-year-old.
would your mom even know what murder
Oh,
porn
hell
was?
no.
When she, my mom
No
would have
way.
never known what that would be.
I always ask my mom, like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm watching Dateline or the new Netflix, like, docu-series on murder, whatever. I'm like, what is it? Why are we so obsessed with murder?
I don't know. Most of the shows seem to be about murder, don't they? I mean,
There's
really.
a lot of true crime stories. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think
much
it's
of it.
probably because it's so scary. I mean, it is terrifying to think that someone would kill you.
Yeah.
That's really odd. I'm sorry. I grew up in a neighborhood. There was a lot of murders. 3 of my uncles were murdered. So, I was around it and I never did understand. Well, it was 1 great uncle. No, 2 great uncles and 1 uncle. They were murdered in the streets. But I don't know what drives you to the point where you feel, well, I have to end that person's life. I don't understand the thinking there.
Well, why do people do a lot of things?
I know.
Why don't they hold the door open?
Yeah, well,
You know, they're just not thinking.
that's
right.
not only the only. Don't even start with me on this one. I'm telling you, you're not going to win this argument. People are not as nice as they used to be. They just aren't. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Technology. It's what I'm just going to blame it on social media and technology.
Oh, a lot of it is social media. Being a big hero because you were such a jerk to people on social media.
Yeah. We
That's
don't know
a
how
big-
to interact with people anymore. I think people,
Yeah, yeah.
I think the thing I notice most, just because, you know, I write for a living, is the loss of our language and just basic words. Like I will hear people talking or telling a story, and I was listening to this one young woman. She's probably about 21, 22. And instead of saying converse, she'd be like conversate or conversate, and thinking like that's a word, or run and ran. Like it's different, like tenses of verbs are confused. People think that casted is a word. Casted is not a word. Like if you're cast in a TV show, they're saying he was casted in a TV show.
Oh,
He was
casted, yeah.
cast. That is happening a lot. There's certain words. Another one that I notice, in besides like the your, there, and there, like all of those that people have
Yeah.
always confused.
Yeah.
Instead of would have, you see would have. So
Would've.
would and then of. When
Yep.
it's actually a verb that's there. It's would
Oh.
have.
I haven't seen
Right.
that.
Would've? What?
Would have. So
Would've.
he would have, because you would say that, because have becomes kind of like a slang and part of the vernacular, like, oh, I would have done that. But if you're actually doing it as a contraction, it's would have, but it's would apostrophe VE. But people are
Yeah.
losing that, and they're making it would of, so OF.
I think
Yeah,
that
would've
part of
is
that
kinda
is,
odd.
you know, spell check. I mean, a lot of times I write stuff and I don't look at it because I think spell check's got my back, but I think it's worse. I go back and I'm like, oh my God, I should have looked at
The
that.
wanna and gonna.
Well, there's-
Like,
Yeah, there's like 3 misspellings or a word that I didn't even like. We had this family reunion on Saturday. My brother was picking up the pizzas. He said, and I said, Dan and Sage aren't going to be there. It said Dan and Sage are space T. How would that even happen? So he thought they were coming because he saw R instead of are not, aren't.
Yeah.
And T, you know, I was just like,
it does. Yeah. I always get the wanna and gonna. And I'm like, this is to a business associate. I don't want to be like gonna, GONNA, instead
No.
of going to.
yeah.
And if you're in a rush, you're not always paying attention. I'm like, shoot, yeah, you have to go back and edit.
Spell check should do a better job. You would think that the computer could do one thing right, and that would be put words in a sequence that makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I feel like autocorrect has gotten worse as the technology has supposedly gotten better, but that's my thought.
Well, even handwriting something now, I get it. If I have to write a check, I'm like, how do you form these? It's just
You don't have the muscles either
no,
anymore.
it's just weird. It's just writing something down. You just don't. I never write anymore.
No, I don't either. My signature is just like a big K scribble. I don't know what it is. And I sit there and think, when I do have to print something out, I'm like, hopefully you can read my chicken scratch. And if I go and showed you, because my mom just gave me one of my college notebooks, you would be shocked at how neat I used to write. I mean, it looks like a serial killer wrote it, versus now where it's like,
Yeah.
I don't look mentally well. That's how bad my handwriting is.
Oh, it's just strange. I think that computers are going to take away a lot of. What was that?
Fawn's doing dishes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the
digital.
glass.
Anyway, I just think the computers are going to take language down to a bad level.
Oh, I agree. I mean, we're watching it happen right now, which is crazy. It's even why the past 2 years, I would say, I've really gotten back into reading more, because, you know, books, whatever it is that interests me, because I feel like I want to keep my brain as active as possible, just because it's so easy just to rot and like scroll through videos and things like that. And I don't want to lose that language that I was taught.
Yep, good idea.
No doubt.
Good idea.
I should mention, by the way, since we got back, we've been back, what, about a week and a half or 2 weeks now?
We got back June 6th.
Oh, God. So it's
Almost a month.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a month. There's no question. But The number's now 237 people in the 3 weeks that we've been back. 237 people have come up to me on the streets and said, I really wish you had never retired because I love listening to the show. And I just wanted you to know 237 people, because they heard on the news that I had retired, they think I retired, and I have to tell them why I didn't retire. I got fired. That's why the whole deal. But the thing what I'm trying to work through is I got to find all those other people who think I retired. So they're not even looking for us on social media. They don't even know we do a podcast anymore because douchebag radio people told them that I retired. So they just stopped trying to track me down.
Still think you should do a car wrap.
What's a car wrap?
Remember?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
When you see ads on people's cars that the whole car is.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just got to get the word out. I got to figure out somehow how to get the word out that I did not retire and that this show even exists, because they don't know it because they just think I went away, which is not, real nice for everybody else on the show to have to deal with. That's the part that really pisses me off. But I don't know. That's how people are now, I guess. But we'll figure out a way. And it's really nice to all of you. And like I said, 237 people, you think I'd be annoyed? Not one of them was annoying. They were very, very nice people. Fans of yours and fans of the families. And it was really nice. They're really nice when they come up. But if anybody knows how I can figure that out to tell people I did not retire, that'd be good.
I think if you do the car app, that'd be really fun in and around Minnesota with like a link to your website. Complete Disaster Network is so easy to remember.
The problem with that is, though, the couple of people that don't really care for me and I'm in having dinner, I come out and there are no windows left in the car. I wouldn't care for that. Oh, yes, they would.
Nah, not in our neighborhood.
Not in the neighborhood. Yeah, I suppose that's probably true. But yeah, I got to work through that whole situation, get it all worked out and figure it. But seriously, for all you people that now do watch the show and listen to the show, thank you for coming up. I didn't know that many people would even know what I looked like because I didn't do a lot of public appearances and stuff like that.
Your face was on some billboards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Day?
Yeah.
I feel like it was.
When? How long ago?
Well,
a while ago.
No, he had faces on his billboard.
Faces on
He
his
had
billboard.
His face on billboards like 3 years ago.
Now, my face was on those?
Yeah, when our old place that we worked with did that big campaign.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember it. But anyway, thank you to all of you who are now listening because you took the time to come over and say hello to Uncle Tommy and found out that I didn't retire and that we still have a show. So that's good. But, I did find out I'm not the only one that's ever gone through this kind of thing. I guess it happens quite often.
Yeah. John Justice.
John Justice.
I think he was on the air for 12 years or something. He just lost his job in the market.
Was it the iHeart? There was a big iHeart layoff.
Yeah.
Yep. He was, I think, maybe the last conservative guy on the radio in Minnesota.
Yeah. There were like 3 of us.
And they got rid of him too.
Yeah.
So.
And I wasn't even that conservative, to tell you the truth.
No, really you weren't. But I just see the whole industry changing so much. The other day I was getting my nails done and they had the TV on, like a broadcast. And they're just pushing all kinds of different stuff now. They're pushing news podcasts and a much younger bunch is coming in. And it just doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, the landscape is extremely different. And it's interesting, too, on the entertainment journalism side, because influencers, if you're a pop culture influencer, they're hiring them to do red carpet interviews a lot of times. And it backfires a lot because they haven't watched, like, let's just say, it really backfires with like older actors. Because let's just say you have someone like a Dustin Hoffman. Okay, you're interviewing Dustin Hoffman, and they will interview Dustin Hoffman like it's his first film. Not that he's an Oscar winner or has, this like
Yeah.
depth. And they always back themselves into a corner where then Dustin Hoffman, and I'm making this example up, he'll be like, wait, you don't know about Tootsie? You know what I mean? Or like, you've never heard of like my Oscar winning role in this? And it backfires, and it's always on like at the Oscars or at the Golden Globes where, the spotlight's a little bit bigger. And I'm like, when are studios going to learn? Because they think that all of their 20-something followers are going to follow them to the Golden Globes. That's not necessarily true.
Right.
It's kind of crazy, and everyone's just sort of trying to chase that next high of like a viral video or that sound bite, and that's all you wind up doing. It never works out.
Ever going to go away?
I don't think so. I don't think in this generation. I mean, people are graduating from college and their ambition is to be an influencer because there is so much money to be made. I went to an H&R Block seminar that I got invited to as a content creator, and they said in 2024, the content creation money that it was bringing in was $250 billion and growing.
God.
So what does that money look like in 2026? It was already in the billions 2 years ago.
Unbelievable. So I have to ask you a question, and this is a bit painful for me, and I guess it shouldn't be, but I told you before when Kathryn and I lived in New York, I used to see Robert De Niro on the street every day. He'd walk by. He'd never make eye contact or talk, but I passed by him every day, and the whole rest of it. I haven't kept track of it, but it sure looks like on the national news he's gone off the total deep end. Is that the situation? What's going on with him?
No, I mean, it's just Robert De Niro. I mean, he's still out there. He's still working. They've got the Meet the Fockers sequel, what we're supposed to call a reimagining, a companion piece, whatever it is, coming. And Ariana Grande's in it. And Ben Stiller's in it. So he's still out there working. I mean, if you don't like his politics, that's probably, what he's always, when you interview him, that's not anything new either. So it's just Robert De Niro.
Was it always this severe?
I think so. I think he's always been difficult.
Really?
He's never had a pleasant reputation in the industry.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
I mean, I think his politics maybe have gotten a little bit louder. He, clearly doesn't like the current administration.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to listen to him yelling about politics. So
right. Well, I guess that's the exact point I was trying to make is I don't really want to. Robert, I think he's a hell of an actor. I don't think there's any question about that. The guy is a great actor, but I don't want to hear it from anybody, either side, left, right, up, down, whatever. Shut up and do your job. How about that?
Yeah, it's just tiring. I think it's just we're being exhausted by the news cycle. So I'm like, what are those like more interesting stories out there? Who's telling the interesting stories that are happening, whether it's in, sports or arts or like other sectors, because otherwise it's I mean, we're going to drive ourselves crazy listening to it.
Well, somebody's keeping track of this too, and I don't watch that kind of stuff or whatever. But there have been so many claims made on both sides of the political aisle that they did this and they did that, and about 60% of it's not even close to being true, and that's on both sides. So what's that?
I don't know, but that's why I go. I was thinking, I'm like, it's why I go and find I listen to audiobooks a lot. And I was on my walk this morning. I'm listening to this great book. I'm just going to throw this out here. Some people may have seen her out there on social media. Her name's Isabel Klee, and she fosters medically challenged dogs. And finds them like their forever homes. And she wrote a memoir. She's so sweet and so lovely. Like, when you make the right person famous, this is one of those great examples of right person famous. She's I think she lives in Brooklyn. And her memoir is Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About. And she tells how dogs saved her. When she was in her 20s and dating the wrong boys, but oftentimes she would wind up with a challenging foster dog, and they were kind of going through parallel things in their own lives. Obviously, the dog's not looking to date, but, they were each going through their own challenges, and it's so delightful listening to her actually go and narrate it because you're like, oh, I get this. And it's fun to hear about New York City. There's something about living in New York City in your 20s that's amazing. So that's been super fun. So that's why I'm like, I'm always looking for like, where's the escapism? Like, what's the next book I'm reading? Because I'm like, I don't need to listen to all the nonsense that's out there in the world.
Have you read that, Alex?
I have not, but I'm sure I would like it.
You read a lot.
I do.
Yeah. Dogs, Boys, and Other Things I've Cried About there. And if you're not following Isabel Klee, if you love like pet rescue, she is just a very authentic voice. She's a great writer, and she will narrate these very poetic stories about the dogs. And when they get adopted, she'll be like, this dog came in and was, so sad and gave up on the world. And then and then you follow their journey of how they started to recover, and then they find their forever home. And I will tell you, you will sob your eyes out, but it's a good, happy sob. Yeah.
I love those stories.
Magnificent. Well, good way to kick off a week here. We're back after, and Andy, I think, will be back Wednesday.
Yeah, he just had, of course, the doctor, the only time he had for the follow-up was during the podcast today.
Yeah.
So
good. We're glad he made it through the surgery successfully and on his way to good health.
Thank you.
Magnificent. And we'll talk to you Wednesday.
Yes, I'll be here on Wednesday.
Thanks very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kristyn Burtt and entertainment news. This segment brought to you by Michael Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers. Visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com to learn more. Now we got Sandy up next, don't we?
I think so.
Whenever he shows
Has
up.
he ever been on time once in his life?
All right, so I'm going to take a page out of Andy's book.
Okay.
And tell
Get some surgery.
2 Ethan stories.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so Saturday, like I mentioned before, we had a little family gathering, and Ethan was just having the greatest time with his cousin, I guess.
What?
Maya.
Oh.
She's
yeah.
sort of a cousin.
Oh,
I
so you
guess.
decided to have it when we were out of town.
Well, I couldn't do anything about it because Terry and Lori were in from Idaho and everywhere. And Lori's been going all over. It's all they could do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, so Ethan is running around with her, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on them because there was this little area where they could run out in the street. And Ethan's gotten so much better.
Oh, yeah. No
about
doubt.
doing really crazy
No
stuff.
doubt about it.
But of course, Colin is now in the bolting around the stage. So
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
so I'm hanging out with the 2 kids, and we were having a meeting. It was a pizza and drinks meeting about when the next train might come by. So we had to go sit down and have a meeting. All of a sudden, Ethan says, "I've got to go to the bathroom." So I bring him into the little building.
God.
There's a men's room and a women's room. And we go in, and I'm sitting there talking to Maya, and Ethan's in there a while. And he comes out with some paper towels. He's washing he's washed his hands. Good boy. And he says, "Somebody pooped in there." I said, "Oh, was it you?" "No." And I said, "Well, didn't somebody flush the toilet?" He thinks for a minute. He says, "Some lady went in and pooped in there."
In the men's room.
Sage told me this story this morning.
No.
I'm like, "Some lady? Oh, that's unusual that a lady would go into the men's room and poop."
I would think so.
He says,
yes.
"Yeah, it was a lady.
Yeah, it was a
Some
lady. Yeah.
lady went and pooped."
And then didn't flush.
And then didn't flush, yeah.
I never even got the
That's the
nitty
other part of
gritty
it.
of if there was a flush, if there was poop in the toilet. We never got to that. You can see his little brain when you say something that, it just connects something else. He just goes off on a tangent. So it turned into a lady pooped in the men's room.
There you go. Well, speaking of little brains, Bob Sansevier brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant and Bilski by everybody. I mean, it's just the way it is. How you doing, Bob?
Good. I actually wondered, she talking about me because I had trouble connecting.
Maybe.
Jeez. Okay. Here's what happened. My sister she visited since like Memorial Day for like 6 weeks. She ate up so much bandwidth because she's always playing games and watching like short movies. My God, for the last week, we got to notice that we have T-Mobile, like a T-Mobile box. And we're not it's not that it completely slows down, but when it's heavy traffic, we're going to be the ones being punished. So this time of the day, we're being punished.
That's
So,
not like
but
you
it's,
live out in the middle of the hinterlands there.
I know.
And you're gonna say hinterlands.
Hinterlands.
I gotta
Alex,
look into
would you
the.
just
I gotta
volume
look
up a
into.
little bit if you
For any-
can?
If I knew how to do that, I would.
I'll talk louder.
No, you could turn your volume up at your end a little bit, can't you, Bob?
Well, yeah, I could talk louder. That's my
Well,
volume turn. I'm actually to the extent of where I can go on my
There
you go.
computer.
Alex
Well-
has on it. How's that?
It
Talk,
went-
Bob.
it went
Good
back-
job.
It went back to where
Good
it was.
job. Good job.
It was in
So-
the middle.
Here.
Anyway,
There.
I got people like my wife walking into my studio without knocking. Jesus.
So
Anyway.
annoying.
My,
Unbelievable.
oi. Oh, speaking of oi, my sister told you can hear me. My sister was in town and she told me, I never did this. Ancestry.com. Her and my brother both did it. And it turns out I'm a Jew. We have Jewishness in us. Yeah, it's
In your
Eastern
family?
European and Russian. Yeah, it's not like a huge amount. It's probably I have some German. It's from my father's side. And in that, on my sister, apparently you could have siblings do it and it won't be exactly the same because some DNA shows up more than others. But it's Eastern European Russian for my sister. And actually it was like, I don't know if it said Jewish or Hebrew, whatever it did for my brother. It's like 3%. But
Right.
I could say, oi, I'm telling you, I feel it coming through me as I speak. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What is it?
So
They used to say something. What's the matter with you, boy? What did you used to say all the time?
Baruch atah Adonai, what's the matter with you, boy?
There you go. We got to learn that.
Exactly.
Nice Jewish neighborhood, North Minneapolis.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
and
What?
What does the first part mean? Do you know?
Baruch atah Adonai. I used to, but I haven't.
That's like a part of a prayer.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
yeah. All I
Any of
know
our
is I've got a yearning. Yeah, let us know. Hey,
Fawn
afterwards, let's
has-
go out for some matzo balls.
One of Fawn's closest friends goes to Hebrew school every Wednesday. I could ask her.
Yeah,
There
she
you
would know.
She would
You
know.
would know. Well, Joyce would know.
Joyce would
Well,
know.
I should
Joyce
know.
would know
I don't know how to spell.
any of those words.
Baruch
even
atah.
try.
I don't know how to spell. You're okay.
Aruka.
Shabbat blessing. I
Probably-
was going to say it's a Shabbat
Oh,
blessing.
Shabbat,
Is
yeah.
the opening formula of the traditional Hebrew blessings literally translating to "Blessed are you, the Lord"?
Baruch atah Adonai?
Yep.
Really?
There you go.
That's a good
You know,
one.
All these years you were
Baruch
saying
atah.
that you didn't know what it meant.
It's Baruch Atah Adonai. There's
Adonai,
3
yeah.
words.
I'm very
There you go.
impressed.
Adonai, what's the matter with you, boy?
Blessed are you, the Lord. What's the matter with you, boy?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Great.
It's exactly what it is.
I can see
Ladies
why
and
it's a
gentlemen.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see this segment brought to you by Michael Bilski and North American Banking Company. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Wait a minute. Oh, I got to put the Tom in there. That's why I forgot. It was popping up on me. nabanco.com/Tom today. I didn't know I got the endorsement from the whole deal.
Ah, there it is.
So that was good.
So what
Don't
did you
think.
do your week off, Bob?
Are you kidding? No, you're not kidding because you wouldn't know. Buffalo Rodeo. We had the
Oh,
most
that's-
successful and the greatest rodeo in history, oldest rodeo in Minnesota. We had record crowds. And how about
Oh,
this?
did you really?
Friday night. Yeah, we did. We had a great full house on. I can't say sellout because we let everyone in. We don't turn people away. Thursday night, it was packed. Friday night, it was packed, and there were people in the aisles, sitting in the aisles of the bleachers. Saturday, aisles of bleachers, and people were sitting on the ground, peering through the fence to watch
Wow.
things. It was packed. It was great, and we had a record amount of beer sold on Friday night. Saturday night, the guy Chad Wico, they own Wico's Bowling, and they got Bison Creek Restaurant. They take care of beer for us. He said before the rodeo started at 7, because we opened, the people can get in at 4:30. We sold more beer than we sold on the record-breaking Friday night. They were loving their beer. And we've got, did you ever hear of a band called South 40? It wasn't
Oh, yeah.
real hot.
Yeah.
It was a good temp. They played for us.
South
They
40.
played for us before, but Emily is the singer for it. They are phenomenal. Big KQ, when we were on, they don't listen now. We don't listen to KQ since all of you left. but they
Well,
love
Bob,
the morning show. What?
I just did a report on that the 3 weeks I've been back, and I didn't even start counting till it was about 40. In the 3 weeks that we've been back, I have had 237 people come up to me and say, "Why did you retire? I wish you would have not retired." I said, "I didn't retire." And they said, "Well, we really missed the KQ morning show and we really wish you were still on." They had no idea I had a podcast because, Cumulus told everybody I retired.
Yes,
So,
they were trying to make themselves look good. And
they tried to make,
ask the guy from KDWB if he retired. He might have gotten nudged out too, because none of your radio guys want to retire. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Dave Ryan.
There comes a point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Dave Ryan. Yeah, I don't know, but he might have. And I know John Justice was let go. From there.
We just talked about that. That was what station was he on?
He was on. What used to be 11:30. I don't know what they called it.
It was used to be WDGY. That was Ouija.
It might still be that, but it's 11. What was the original K-Fan?
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was the original K-Fan. But so what are they going to do with all these radio stations now? Because there aren't going to be any radio stations in about another maybe year and a half.
Well, they should discount them, and you could buy them all up and start a conglomerate. Hey, by the way, this is funny, Tom. Andy Jacobson, 2198, you should run an ad on KQ about the podcast. No one would hear it.
I don't think they would take that anyway.
Well, but if they did, they're a hash mark.
Yeah.
So
they've got a
things aren't
zero.
going well from what I understand there. Yeah.
I still don't understand why, if something works so well for 37 years, you wouldn't let it flow till the end. I never understood that.
Tom, I've met people in radio and at newspapers, and they're not all the brightest. There is that level. What is that? Is it what Murphy's Law? Whatever that law is, they keep getting elevated to the point that they just can't do the job.
Right.
It's not something that they can handle. And that happens in every media. It happens that people are just clown shows.
Well,
they are. I don't know why.
Industries, and especially in politics, that seems to be happening too.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see? Did you see Nancy Pelosi announce what she's going to do after she steps out? She's not running for Congress again. She's going to have like some kind of an institute at UC Berkeley, to teach people about politics. Yeah, I'm going to go and listen to this old hag tell me about how the world is.
It's kind of negative.
Maybe you can get some. She's well into her 80s. Maybe you can get some stock tips. That would be the only thing she'd be good for.
Yeah.
All that insider trading she's doing. Allegedly.
Stacy and Hutch also got let go the other day. Stacy and Hutch.
Oh, where is that from?
I don't know.
Jesus.
Are they on one of the iHeart stations?
I think they might be, yeah.
Stacy and Hutch. I know their names and all that stuff, but I don't know. What I understand about Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, there you go. I just don't understand when you see an entire industry collapsing in front of you. Why don't you take your best talent and let everybody else go? They're doing the exact opposite. They're letting their best talent go because they cost too much. Well, if you wouldn't pay all these other salaries, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
No.
It's just really stupid business. Really stupid.
When the hedge funds, they just eat. They just eat them. They eat themselves from the tail. They just.
That's true.
Possibly. Oh, KS95 they were at.
Oh, that's right. Oh, the KS95. So are their ratings not that great anymore either? Because they were pretty good a few years ago.
I have no idea.
I have no clue either. I don't know what the hell the deal is, but the problem you have with podcasting, of course, is so many big, huge stars have podcasts that it hurts local podcast business. I mean, it's much tougher.
Tom, this is similar to what you did when you did a voiceover. All these Hollywood stars came in and it impacted you, and it's happening now with podcasts.
It absolutely.
Everybody, you're right. They're all doing one. You're right. But they're doing a weekly. They're too lazy to do it daily, so that doesn't hurt you as much.
Yeah, that's true. They do it a week.
Days a week now.
Yeah, but I mean, they get all the coverage. You don't get promoted at all because they're promoting the big Hollywood names.
So what is it like to wake up on a Tuesday and a Thursday and have no show to do? It's the first time in 50 years or more.
Well, I got to be honest with you. It's the first time since I was 11 years old. I got a job when I was 11 years old, and I have not had days off on a regular basis my entire life. So there you go. You're talking about 50, almost. Well, it is 60 years.
Yeah, well, even though you had those huge numbers and everything at KQ, we never took more than a week off.
No.
I think we took 1 2-week vacation
Yep.
because we were so terrified about the numbers dropping, the numbers dropping, the numbers dropping. Oh, the numbers.
Well,
So we just never did it.
well, like my podcast, I've been on almost 11 years now. And until a couple of years ago, I never took off even Christmas. I would put together like a show because I didn't, if it fell on a weekday, I didn't want not to be able to offer the radio stations that use it a show. And a week off is absurd. I haven't had a week off in, 15, 20 years since KQ when I balanced it. I'd take a week from the newspaper and from the KQ at the same time. So we got time off a day off is great nowadays.
No, I understand that absolutely. I just got to get off my ass and figure out how to, kind of do what you did, go to smaller markets and get it put on, a couple hours a day and build it from there.
Well, Bob's got numbers of people.
Numbers of people.
Yeah, I told you I'd share them with you, but
yeah.
By the way, I think there's a delay when I speak. Either you're listening, saying, "Should I respond to this idiotic comment or not?" But there's like a time where before you're not hearing me as I'm speaking it.
Really?
Wow.
Like right now, there was like a 2 or 3 second delay for you to respond, and I don't know if it's my end or yours.
It sounds fine on our end.
No, but you're hearing it a few seconds after I say it.
Oh.
It's like watching TV sometimes when, like in the Vikings games, I see the play, I look up, and 3 seconds later, I'm seeing the play again, and that's supposed to be live. It doesn't usually happen.
You think of that?
I'll get out of the hinters. Hey, that is the exact question I was going to ask you. Do you use Starlink? Because I was thinking of getting one, but is it?
We're closer in.
Well,
I think maybe you could get a Starlink and be happy with that.
That's probably a good idea.
Never been a problem until my sister ate up all our bandwidth. So maybe that has something to do with it slowing it down.
Those sisters, nothing but trouble.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Really
so, Bob, how should is there somebody I can go talk to about doing this for me so I don't have to do it?
Well, Tom, do you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
No, you have to do it because people will talk to you. They're not going to talk to somebody else about you. And you want bluntness, and because all the lists. I mean, you believe in transparency. You have to. It's going to be a tough sell to give them 2 hours, only 3 days a week. They may not want more than an hour, and they're not going to want it. They're going to want it. They can't fill 3 days a week and suddenly say, "What do we do for the 2 hours on the other 2 days?" Or the hour.
Well,
an hour is easier. You got to have 5 days. What's that? Well,
they just cut it up.
They're not going to cut it up. You're going to have to do. You'll have to cut it up for them.
No,
Andy already does cut it up.
No, what I'm going to do is I've been talking to a couple of people about doing a Tuesday and a Thursday, like a 1 hour deal. Is 1 hour enough?
Yeah, you've talked about. Yep. Yes.
I talked to Don Shelby and Jack Hicks. Don Shelby for 1 hour, and then Jack, maybe Tuesdays, and then Jack Hicks on a Thursday. But it would just be the two of us. But that's what they'd be looking for anyway, right? It's just an entire 5 day deal.
Yeah.
So there's nobody out there that
cover the 5 days. I don't know. I mean, sadly, he died a couple of Christmases ago.
Who did?
Pat Eberts. He would have handled.
Oh, Pat Eberts would have been brilliant. Oh God, he would have been phenomenal.
Miss Pat.
But there's nobody like Pat that I know of. Nobody.
No, I think you're right. I talked to other people about it and all the rest of it. I got to be honest with you. I did make a huge mistake because Michael Bryant set me up with a guy. Well, you know Bob Layton, don't you?
Bob Layton's. I think I'm on at least several of his stations, or a few of his stations between the Jim Bob Sports Jam and my show. We're on Layton stations. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to be on like 20 Layton stations, and I just thought, I don't know if I want to do that or not. And I should have done it, actually, because it would have really helped the podcast. But I didn't know they were going to claim that I mean Cumulus, is going to say I retired, because once they hear that, they just go away.
Well, Tom,
So I
you
did
have a
think-
record now. You're not retired, and there's a record of you not being retired. I would call Mike and say, see if we can put this together again.
Yeah, I should.
The only
talk
one
to
who
Michael.
looks the only one that looks retired is that cute little mutt between you two.
Oh God, he's snoring up a storm over here.
Yeah,
for
he's
Christ's sake.
Well,
like
we were
squeaking.
We were dog sitting this weekend. Alex,
Oh, he's exhausted.
two dogs, and one of their dogs is very afraid of thunder. And it was a big. I don't know what you had over at your house, but we had thunder for 4.5 hours. Late.
We had
Early
really bad
Monday.
winds yesterday early.
Yeah, and her dog gets. I mean, wow. She's panting and she's jumping up and down and she's digging and she's shaking. I mean, I felt so sorry for her. So she kept us up for quite some time, and it was a really.
Well,
long
I
time.
told you, shove her in a closet. I don't know why you don't shove her in a closet.
I don't
Okay,
really
the
know.
ASPCA would come over. You put
I
There you
tell
go.
you every single time, just shove her in a closet with a
I
bed.
felt so bad for her.
She's happy. We will shove her in a closet during a thunderstorm, and she doesn't whine at the door. She doesn't
She
scratch
doesn't
the door
pee
to
or
get
poop?
out. Like she doesn't. No, she doesn't do anything. She just lays in the closet and is quiet. I think it's quieter in there for her because the clothes are absorbing some of the sound.
Oh, yeah,
And we'll
maybe.
open the door after this thunderstorm's even over, and she doesn't come out. Like she'll just hang out in there. So it's not like she's like,
And
I
then
told you, put her in a closet.
Jude would not be so exhausted from stressing out watching the other dogs.
Yeah, look at how stressed out he is. It's just
So
terrible.
stressed.
No, he's not stressed out about it. He just got tired. That's
He's
all.
tired.
That's all. And then he had
Is
grandkids.
he
over.
breathing?
He's breathing.
Well, that's
Yeah, there you
fine.
He
go.
is breathing.
All right, I got to take a quick break. Be back in 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. I have known Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle for a long time. When you deal with North American Banking Company, you know the people running it, and that matters to me. They have a great team of experienced and friendly bankers. That's why I've been a customer for a long time. So go see my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So there you go. So what else is happening, Bob?
Well, I mean, it's sort of a downtime in sports. You got your Twins, but I don't care about the World Cup. Do you? Have you watched I haven't
No.
watched the nanosecond
No.
World Cup. No interest. None at all. Vikings will be cranking up. But one thing that this broke today, Chris Johnson, great running back for the Titans and the Cardinals. He's one of the few guys to have 2,000 yards rushing. He announced today he's got ALS, and it's so bad already. He was diagnosed, I think, in 2020, last year. He's using a synthesizer, sort of like, I think, or something along of what Stephen Hawking used, because he had ALS too, but I mean, he can't talk already.
Yeah.
So that's never a good sign. It's a shame. That's such a terrible disease to have.
It is.
See, that's terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but it's but I mean, for sport, it's kind of this is the time of the year where there's things. I mean, obviously last week the Wolves had their draft and they made some moves. They got rid of they made some
Big
moves I don't
moves.
quite understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not like, oh my God, we're on the edge of our seat wondering what's going to happen next. The NBA season doesn't start for a few months, and I don't know what they're thinking over at Timbyland. They must have a master plan to get things done and done right. But that's I don't. I can't get too worked up about them because I'm in the minority. I absolutely see the talent. Anthony Edwards is a terrific talent, but I don't think he's a terrific leader. And you need to have one guy that's both, or a guy that's one and then one who's the other. But I don't think he's a great leader. So but
Bob, it's
maybe
really
that's just
unfortunate.
me.
When you look back, when I was 10 years old, the Minneapolis Lakers, I believe, won the national championship. Of course, they were sold off by Sid Hartman and a couple other people. Sidney, was it Max Winter too, wasn't it?
Max Winter owned the Lakers.
The Lakers, but Sid owned part of them too.
He was one of them. Yeah, he was the GM, and I think he had to have a piece. Back then you could be the GM of the team and cover them at the same time.
But so in 1960, the Minneapolis Lakers win the NBA championship. The Minnesota Gophers win the National Football Championship. And the Minnesota Twins had just come to town. It was a very exciting time to be a sports fan when I was 10 years old. It was amazing.
Yes.
And it hasn't been that exciting ever since, other than a couple of World Series victories by the Twins. I mean, I just
And that
can't
was in a
believe.
short period.
Yeah, it was. It was a very 3-4 years, right?
Yeah.
They were 3 years apart, something like that.
Yeah, 87, 91.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the Twins, but I'm having a really hard time watching them because they had a 7-0 lead the other night and lost.
They're in a mid-season slump.
They're in a
Big one.
full season slump.
I'm trying to be nice.
They're just not that good. I mean, and I don't know. I don't watch basketball anymore. Is that basketball team any good?
Well, the Wolves, they made it.
Yeah.
You know, they're good, but they're not good enough yet to get out of the Western Conference.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's a problem. I did take a shot. Well, it was a shot. You know, I had some introductions during the rodeo, and I made the point of saying, you know, the Twins would kill for a crowd like this. And I wasn't kidding, because there are times when we have like 4,500 people to 5,000. That's much bigger than a lot of Twins crowds are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the during the time the Dodgers were in town and all that, they were selling out a lot of games, but as soon as they left town, they dropped in about a third of what they were getting.
Yeah, and
I don't
by the
know,
way, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's done, but for all the people who are vendors to strike when they did and how they did. Now, I've been in a union, and well, not now because I retired from the paper, but basically from the time I was in my early 20s right on through, I belonged to a union. They call it a guild, but it's a union. So I'm very supportive. I've been on the picket line. That timing of calling a strike and to claim, according to what I heard, they wanted to be treated as like full-time employees and get benefits. Yes, how many days a year are you actually selling? I mean, what, 81 days a year? I mean, you're not going to get full benefits, like health benefits.
Right.
You chose to do that. I'm not trying to come down on them because they're good people. We've known people that do it, but it's not a full-time job. And you chose to do it to hurt them. And who'd you hurt? You hurt yourself because the Dodgers in town, a big crowd's coming, and you're not making tips. So.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Why is it so hard for Minnesota team? Like I said, that the 2 World Series were wonderful. Was it 87 and 91?
91,
I believe
yep.
So it's only 36 years ago. But other than that,
Yeah, nothing. Yeah,
but I just don't understand. When I was a young kid, like I said, around 10 years old, Minnesota teams were playing really, really well. It was really wonderful. And then all of a sudden, it hit the wall. I still can't believe the North Stars and now the new team haven't ever won. As far as I know, they've never won the championship, have they, in professional hockey?
No. And Tom, they had this when the Timberwolves were playing. I think it might be the longest drought without a championship for a team that has all 4 teams in the city, all 4 pro teams.
Yeah.
That 36 years. I mean, somebody everywhere else there's 4. Somebody has won.
Yeah,
it's too long. It's overdue. But it is obviously very difficult. Look how long the Knicks went without a championship.
Yeah, that's true.
You think that they could have bought players, and there's all that talk from the first lottery where they got Patrick Ewing. Everyone thought that was fixed. Didn't win him a championship.
Right.
Who do you think? Okay, which team do you think will be the first of now? The Vikings, people keep thinking, but there's so many great NFL teams.
Yeah,
it's hard.
That's the problem.
You win a Super Bowl, it's incredibly hard.
I'm not. Alex, you go to the games. You think Timberwolves are good enough to win it?
Well, we just got. Oh my gosh, I'm
Nas Reed
completely. No, we traded Nas Reed.
We got one of the Ball
Which is-
brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, we got one of the Ball
LaMelo
brothers.
Ball.
I can't think, what? LaMelo, yeah. We got LaMelo Ball, and he's fantastic. And I actually think, like, if it's a good fit, if like, I feel like if a team, you can have the best players in the world on a team, but if they don't get along and fit well together, it's not going to matter.
Yep.
So I think as long as our team this year, we don't make lots more trades and have a lot of new people come in, especially with our starting line like we did 2 years ago, was it? I think it will be. I think we have a really good chance of being a really, really good. I mean, we've been a really good team the last few years, but I think that in the chances of us winning the championship in the next couple years is pretty high. I'd
You think so, really?
Yes.
Well, that's good.
I don't think it is because of how good these other teams are, like San Antonio and Oklahoma City. And there's talk of the Golden State Warriors getting LeBron James and the center he played with, Anthony Davis. I mean, that would make them a tough team too. Could you look up how many children?
Sorry.
Look up how many children does LaMelo Ball have? Because several people were posting on social media that the pregnancy rate in Minneapolis will skyrocket just between Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. How many kids does he have? Because he must. Several people were posting that. I have no idea, and I don't know what the number count is for Edwards. We figured out that with Adrian Peterson, that was near double digits or exceeding it at some point. But I don't know for sure.
Ball has one child.
That's it? Then there must have been some other stories about him.
That's what this. Let's see. Maybe there's some controversy because, like Anthony Edwards, I think has
multiple.
Has 2 kids, but then there's women that are like, I have a kid with him. I have a kid with him. So I don't know. Okay, let's see. And
you don't know what you can believe.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, I was just curious.
Won a hockey championship in the league. It was
NHL.
No, well, it's
that's right. It's
what's under the
AAA
NHL
or whatever they call them.
He was playing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway,
and something else, but anyway, they won a cup and a championship, so everybody's very excited about that. So
who effing who?
I'm seeing.
Bob looks very excited.
Who effing who? Okay, I'm looking at LaMelo Ball's personal life now, so now I'm really invested.
I have never understood that. Let's get a woman pregnant and then you just walk away. It's your kid. How would you want to walk away from your own kid? I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know.
Because for some people, it just doesn't matter.
I guess.
Yeah, they just hand the mom the money and that's it.
Bob, are you freezing up?
I think he is.
I don't know, but I hear that. I think you were a little bit, or Alex was a little bit on. It sounded like she was playing some kind of a musical instrument.
Oh.
Ooh, fun. What was it?
Maybe it was
the harp. The harp.
A harpsichord. The harpsichord.
We got to figure this out because every week it breaks up, and we figure it out. There's no question about it.
When do you have a new tank of bandwidth?
July 5th.
Oh, okay. Fingers crossed.
And I'm next scheduled to be on July 6th. So
okay,
it should be fun.
Well, there you go. Okay.
We'll have brand new.
All right. So anyway, we will talk to you on July 6th. Is that correct?
I live for that. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Have a great week. Bye.
You too. Bob Sansevier, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that thing was breaking up like mad, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Could be a good.
Bye, Bob.
I don't know. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little break here. Heart of the North Tours is currently offering a 7-day Princess Cruise tour of the Alaskan glaciers, combined with a glass-topped railway experience and multiple nights at the Denali Wilderness Lodge, including the land meal package. You'll visit Denali National Park, Whittier, Hubbard Glacier, Glacier Bay National Park, stop in Anchorage, Juneau, Skagway, and Ketchikan. For more information, go to heartofthenorthtours.com. It'll have August through the 9th, and there are limited spots available, so book now. All right, we're back. I gotta line this up to make sure that it's right. Because we have a guest coming up in about 7 minutes. I know that.
We do.
Bob breaks up every week.
He's pretty bad. It's interesting when he does his own show. I wonder if he has problems or if it's just our connecting out to Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's on his end, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, it is on his end. He
Yeah,
lives
I'm
in
pretty
the
sure
middle of nowhere. Like, I mean, come on.
Pretty sure. We have a guest coming up in about 6-7 minutes. So before that point, we can start schmoozing about other. Is there anything else that we needed to cover that we have not covered yet? Anything going on in the world?
I mean, I was in Florida for 8 days for Dance Nationals.
So how'd that go?
Wanted to talk about that or more Minnesota related news? It was good. It was great. It was exhausting. I'm so tired. I can barely see. Yeah. She did what did she do? We got there Saturday. She had her solo on Monday. She had their production dance, which has like 113 people in it on Wednesday. Thursday, she had hip hop and her small group. Her small group made it to finals, which it's like, so you go to nationals, and then if you're in the top 5 of that grouping, specific type of whatever, like this was like small groups 11 and under, they were in the top 5, so they got to go to finals, which was on Saturday. But then she had all her regular team dances on Friday, which her jazz dance got 3rd place, but then the other team at her studio, that's the one team above her, they're in the same category, age category. And because they're like, her team was this year mostly 9 and 10-year-olds, and the team above her is 11 and 12-year-olds, but they're all 12 and under in like that category. And so they got 1st place. So Fawn's jazz dance didn't get to go to finals because it's only one dance per studio that gets to make it to finals, which is really a bummer because their jazz dance looked incredible. But then the other team ended up winning the whole thing. So, and they looked really, really incredible too. So, and that's most of the kids that she dances with her small group are on that other team above her because they're older. But so, which was really, really great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then Saturday, she had to do 2 dances again. And then they ran into the ocean in their costumes. And one of Fawn's dance costumes is a swimsuit. Like it's from High School Musical, Fabulous, where they're like hanging out by a pool and this girl's singing about how she wants everything to be fabulous. And so I was like, hey, wear that costume because it's literally a swimsuit.
So you were in Destin?
We were in Panama City Beach, which is like an hour and a half outside of Destin. We flew into Destin.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we stayed at this resort called the Edgewater, which was very like, spring break vibes.
Oh, was it on the ocean?
Yep, right on the ocean, white sand
nice.
beaches. The beach was really, really nice.
Yeah.
There was like a big, huge sandbar that the girls just like played and played and played on whenever we had time. At her dance studio that she's currently at, they have a rule that you have to go watch every other team's dance and like support them and cheer them on, which is great. But it's like the studio's getting really big. Like it's doubled in size in the last 2 years. And so now there's so many dances so like the resort, it's not a resort. It's like I don't know. This seems to be just like a Florida thing where it's like a condo complex and then people rent them out, but it's not like an Airbnb. It's like a owned by its own company thing. I don't even know. But then we had to walk over this bridge to get to the convention center to like watch the dances. And so we were back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was 275% humidity. And it was just like, so yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm tired, but Fawn had an absolute blast. Like she was talking to Dan last night and she's like, we had so much fun. And she loved it. So yeah.
That's how it should be. Glad to hear that.
I've never been up in that region.
We went to, the place where we were at was, like I said, very like spring break vibes, like drink by the pool, blast your country music kind of situation. But then we drove 30 minutes to Rosemary Beach, which was really nice. Like a super cute felt like a little small town, like beach town, and everything was really, really cute. We went there on Sunday because that was our one like free day.
Rosemary Beach.
Yeah, Rosemary Beach. And then we went to Seaside, which was like a half an hour past that. And that was like very upscale, fancy pantsy place. I got a sweatshirt from there to be like, I'm fancy too. But yeah, it was really nice. Our condo actually did not have water from Tuesday to Friday.
Great.
Because a water main broke.
Oh, did you have to pay?
And Dan's working on it. Dan's like, you will be getting a refund for the days you couldn't use your water. Because then it's like the water main breaks and it was broken for over 24 hours. And then you can't use your water to brush your teeth, shower, or wash your hands for 48 hours unless you boil it first.
Oh.
And so we just spent most of our time. We used our condo basically to sleep in. And then we went to our friend's condo and spent there during the day. But yeah, so I'm tired and I'm happy to have our stuff in one place.
Yeah.
I can see that would make sense.
Feels great.
So we have a guest coming up, what, about 1 minute? Is that
We do right now. I can add him to the stage. He's here.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Here he is.
After a nearly 2-decade career as a CEO and attorney, I realized I had spent, this is Brad Elder talking, of course. I realized I had spent a career focusing on enriching the lives of others. Well, that was, you should read this because I don't have my glasses and it's in small print.
It's not that interesting, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, we'll be the judge of that, Buster.
Thrilling.
Okay, after a nearly 2-decade career as a CEO and attorney, I realized I had spent a career focused on enriching the lives of others. While that was personally very rewarding, I decided to hit the reset button and focus on what makes me happy. The problem was, I don't know. A man can only play golf so much. During COVID, I began to explore my creative side. I bought a load of paint and canvases and went to work. Spoiler alert, my first few were terrible. Well, that's to be expected.
Yes.
However, during one such god-awful creation, an inadvertent brush stroke actually looked like a wave. That helped me push me past my insecurities and help keep one goal in mind, to keep making mistakes. Mistakes turn into discoveries. Okay, so now you are a painter.
Not really.
There you go.
And he's humble.
A few things that my wife calls my office worthy. They're not worthy of the rest of the house where visitors can see, and she has to look at it every day. But I've done a few that I am marginally proud of, and would hang up. But I'm by no means a good painter, but I do enjoy it as an outlet. Just something to feed the creative side that I didn't know for 50 some odd years that lived inside of me. But I do enjoy it. And I'm just not the best, but
Well, that's okay.
that's I'm sure a lot of painters think that.
My grandmother picked up painting when she was 78 years old. And
Wow.
I've got one of her paintings, and I mean, you wouldn't say it's a Picasso, but it's near
Yeah.
and dear to me.
Yeah,
It's
sure. Right.
yeah. The barn looks like a barn. The trees look like trees. She did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell what mine are, but I don't think they're going to be in a museum anytime soon.
Oh, well.
I
There's
used to have
always
one
time.
hanging behind me, but I guess it's not. I just realized it's gone. It's not office worthy anymore either. I don't do so. I have no idea where it is.
Well, what are you going to do?
What are
So
you
you
gonna do?
start off as an attorney, is that right? Then you became a painter.
Yes, I started out as an attorney. I went to law school a little later in life. I was in my early to mid 30s when I started law school, and I'm still a lawyer. It pays the bills a little better than being a painter and a writer does. So I stick with my day job, but I went to school a little bit later in life, and I didn't enjoy reading before that. I never really read for my own enjoyment, other than one book, Lonesome Dove, which I truly enjoyed. But as I was in law school, I realized I enjoyed some of the more interesting cases and learning through reading, which I never expected to. And so when I got out of law school, I figured, well, I'm a lawyer now, so I have to read John Grisham. So I just picked up, started reading John Grisham books, and then moved on from there to, Harlan Coben, Brad Thor, Jack Carr, Baldacci, some of the, in the thriller arena. And one day I was reading a Jack Carr novel, and I read Sky Morning and thought, I think I could do this. So I'm going to try it, just like I did. I tried painting. So I finished the book and picked up my computer and started writing a book. I had
That's amazing about that.
virtually no idea where it was going to go. I had a very esoteric plot in mind. It is not that plot that I had in mind. It has very, very little to do with that, but it just grew from there. I wrote the first 4 chapters or so, and I thought it sounds pretty good. I think, but you're very vulnerable. You feel it's a feeling of vulnerability, when you do something like that for someone else's creation, as I'm sure you guys can speak to. That if you think it's okay, like, yeah, but what will others think? And so I printed them out and set it on my wife's dresser. And each day I would go by and look to see if it had moved and see if it had moved. And a couple of weeks go by and it hadn't moved. And I'm like, she's not going to read it. So one day she did, and I got a text, and she was complimentary, but of course my response was, yeah, but you're my wife. Of course you're going to say that.
Well,
so I sent it to a friend who is a writing professor, and he called me back and was very, very complimentary about it and said, you have to see this through. And so that gave me a lot of motivation, and sat down and started writing. And 9 months later, I had a book finished. So,
Wow.
yeah, and I hired an editor, and I didn't realize I did not have a book finish. Little did I know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, lots of
Well,
suggestions.
yeah, there are a lot of suggestions, and they all made them better. It hurts your feelings in the beginning, I'll be honest with you, because I was, I was so proud of it, and he changed mainly the flow and where things were presented, but it made it a much better book and taught me a tremendous amount about writing and the writing process. And actually, that one editorial process made me, I think, a much better writer and taught me so much about it.
It's interesting you bring that up, because Kathryn and I were watching that new Harlan Coben series that's on.
Oh gosh, what's it called?
I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember what it's
Yeah,
called.
it's brand new.
Yeah, the newest one is
I
it?
think
It's not. I Will Find You.
I Will
is it?
Find You. Yeah, maybe I Will Find You.
Yeah.
Maybe I Will Find You. But
Yeah.
the amazing thing about him is not only is he's a great writer, and the flow of it and all the rest of it, it's like you're listening to your brother talking to you. I mean, he is that good at communicating. It's amazing.
He is very good. His character in the series that he runs, the Myron Bolitar series, that's one of my favorite characters in any of the thriller. And I kind of loosely based my protagonist after Myron Bolitar, somebody who's a normal guy. He's not he's CIA. He's not a special ops. He doesn't have a military background, but he's put in these extraordinary situations. Because I'd always ask myself, what would I do if I was put in somewhere James Ruth or Scott Harvath was? What would a normal guy like me, how would I react? And I don't mean just a home invasion where I think we would all, step up and protect our family, but in a situation where it's overwhelming and you have to do something to protect others. And that's kind of what I based Ryan Wolf as my protagonist, what I based him on. And it's some of his, not taking himself very seriously. Some of the self-deprecating humor comes from Harlan Coben's Myron Bolitar.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's like it literally feels like he's talking to me. It really feels that way. Yeah. And what a talent that is. That's amazing to me.
Absolutely. He is.
We had a good friend who was a very successful writer, Vince Flynn. And his, first of all,
if you look behind me, I've got probably every Vince Flynn book.
There you go.
That's wonderful.
We miss him.
He was a great guy.
He is the gold standard of thriller writers.
Yeah, he didn't start writing until he was a little older, and he also had a very bad case of dyslexia.
Yeah.
And his editors were, he said it was tough for them to figure out what I was trying to do. Once he understood my voice, it became much easier. As he talked about it many times with me about, writing and where he got his inspiration and all that. And he also, he wanted to go into the military, but he had some medical thing. I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
Something silly like flat feet or something weird. So he couldn't go in. And that's what motivated his writing, is kind of like what could have maybe been, these heroic acts and all of this stuff. But his first book, nobody wanted it. He self-published it, and he kept at it. And look at him. I mean, I don't know how many bestsellers he's written.
I think he did
6.
He did 14 or 17 of them.
Yeah.
And then they've taken Don Bentley is now taken up the series.
Yes.
But he's writing the prequel after the American American Assassin, and then the next few I'm going to get the titles mixed up myself, but Vince went back and wrote 3 books prior to his first book. It's not chronologically his first book. It's chronologically, well, now it's his 6th book, but Don Bentley went back and is picking up after 3rd in the series. He has wrote one, I think, came out last year, and then the other one's about to come out.
Yep.
A tough part of that for me, I will never forget, because I had the highest rated morning talk show in America at the time, here in Minneapolis and St. Paul at KQRS. And he kept leaving me his books when he'd come and golf at this golf club I belonged to. And he kept leaving books behind and all that stuff. And I finally figured out, well, maybe I should talk to this guy. I had never met him, but I reached out to him through some friends, through Louis Nanny and all those people. And it was pretty amazing just to sit down and talk to him. Because what was it? You said dyslexia? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he had dyslexia.
Yeah, dyslexia. To have that much talent that you can get beyond all of that was amazing.
Right.
And what I really like about, and when I say you people, I mean men and women, that can take things out of your head and put them on paper, and they're really entertaining. That takes some big time talent, man.
Well, I would like to say I'm in that group. I guess I'm a little.
There you go. Well,
I'm not Vince Flynn, and I never will be Vince Flynn. If anyone ever uses me and his name in the same sentence, it will be a successful career for me. I will say that. But it did take, and I don't have a creative writing background. I don't have a degree in creative writing. The last creative writing or writing class I had outside of in law school was freshman year in college. So my teachers were Vince and Harlan Coben and Brad Thor. And that's how I learned. And you learn to see tropes, and you learn the patterns, you learn the character arcs and the series arcs. So you learn to pick up on those things. And I didn't know that's what I was seeing, but you just glean that after reading, hundreds of books. And when I first wrote a book, I didn't 3-act structure. I don't know. Save the Cat, Unlikely Hero. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. I just wrote what felt right to me. And it worked out. It worked out pretty well. I'm really proud of the book. There's, after you publish it, you go back and you think, oh, I wish I'd have done that differently. I wish I'd have done that differently. But hey, it's out into the world now, and nothing I can do about it. But I think every writer, every painter, they would change something about the finished product. And now I've gotten a second bite at the apple, because my follow-up novel, which is in the series, I keep saying I'm a couple of months away, but I've been saying that for about 6 months or so. I'll change one thing, and it's like a domino effect. I'm not an outliner. I don't sit down and outline the entire book. I'm what's called, they call that pantser. I'm not a plotter, I'm a pantser. I'll just start writing and see what comes of it. And then you can write yourself into some corners. And if you change something down the line, it's like a giant Jenga game. Something else may not have worked. It may not work. And when you change that, something else may not work. So it's a lot longer process, I think, when you do it that way. But I don't know how to do it any other way. I don't think I'm creative enough to sit down and write an outline out and know exactly where I want it to go, because I find I'm more creative when I'm being creative. I couldn't sit down and just write out an outline. I don't understand how people do that, but I find it much easier to just start writing with a foundation in place and know kinda where I want it to go, and then just almost let the characters tell me the story. I didn't know how my book was going to end until I wrote it.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's got to make a great ending if you didn't even know how you wanted to do that, but the previous pages brought you to that juncture, and it worked out. That's got to be pretty important, I would think.
Yeah, I was kind of, I felt like I was living the story a little bit.
And there you go.
That was exciting to me, to sit down and write, because I love to read too. And you have to ask yourself after a little bit, am I a reader or am I a writer? Because there's only so much time in the day. So it made me feel like I was actually reading a book that I was creating.
No question.
What kind of law do you practice?
I do real estate law. I'm a.
It has to be criminal defense.
Well, I actually enjoyed criminal defense. I did a little bit right out of law school. I actually did enjoy that part of it, but I don't have the temperament for litigation. I always wanted to jump the table and get in a fight with the other lawyer, and that's not judges. They don't appreciate that. So I went into something a little more. I've got I own a title insurance agency, and my law firm does the legal. It's document preparation. I call myself a pseudo lawyer almost. I don't have a traditional practice. I don't see any of my clients. The transaction comes in and we prepare the documents accordingly. Yeah, I did a little criminal law. I did some family law, which I would not suggest at all doing. I just did not like seeing that much good people at their worst is what it boiled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then did some catastrophic personal injury cases, some wrongful deaths and things of that nature. But those are nice when they pay off finally. But practicing real estate law and having a title company you can count on that for the month to month way more so than the others.
Right.
And it's a lot cleaner file too.
Yeah. I could tell you, by the way, I suppose I'll get used to it, but I have one of those watches where you get your emails on the watch, the notifications on your watch. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about, Vince Flynn and making sure you didn't make a comparison between you and Vince Flynn. And this guy sent me a message, said, yeah, Brad just brought up this really, really good point. Why don't you tell him about the first time you ever had James Earl Jones on your show, Tom? I literally, ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, because I got a semi-deep voice. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, James Earl Jones. Well, good morning, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I feel like God is talking to you.
That was unbelievable.
I would imagine.
That's wonderful. You can sit down and write and you construct these ideas and these thoughts and all the rest of it. And people go out and buy your books. You got to be pretty impressed with how that's worked out, I would think.
It has. I find it amazing that and maybe it's because I don't take myself very seriously.
Very good point.
I find it amazing when people reach out to me and tell me how much they enjoyed the book.
Love it.
And the first time I really felt it, and trust me, it doesn't happen all the time to where nobody sees me as I walk by and say, oh, you're this, or I haven't yet to see my book in somebody's hands that I don't know, which I'm kind of waiting for that, maybe in an airport or something. But the first time it hit me as I was on a podcast, it's been a couple of months ago now. And the gentleman who was doing it was super kind. And he had read the book prior. And he even said, I have to apologize. I'm nervous because I'm fanning right now. And I'm like, wait, you're fanning on me? But
yeah.
So it almost makes me think like, well, is this how people feel who truly are, famous, truly do have a lot of fans? Did they think of themselves like, well, I don't see why you'd be that interested in me or that big of a fan of me. I just did something that I wanted to do and loved doing and just put it out there to see what happens. So, yeah, it's extremely rewarding to hear what people thought about your book. And I wasn't terribly concerned about getting feedback from the general public, really, because they don't know me. And if they didn't like it, not everybody's going to like my book. I mean, not everybody's going to like it. And if they didn't, that's okay. You want most of them to. And so far I've had really good ratings and really good reviews, and most of them have. It was my family and friends that I was really, really concerned because because I'm around them a lot, right? And you don't want them behind your back going like, this guy thinks he can write. Oh, this poor guy. I didn't want that. But so far I believe them, or maybe I'm choosing to believe them. How about that?
No, I mean, your books are well received and all the rest of it. That's evidence right there.
Yeah, I've been very pleasantly surprised about how well it's gone. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to getting the next one out and seeing what folks think about that.
Was it hard for you to get the discipline to actually sit down and do this? Because I mean, most people are like, oh, I should have written a book. Oh, I should have learned to play an instrument. I should have done all of this stuff in my life. But at a certain point in time, your life sort of just takes on its own thing, and you don't get to really change a lot. And sitting down and writing a book takes a lot of time and energy.
It does.
Painting and all of these things, they're time consuming, and it impacts your life quite a bit, I would say.
It does.
But you did it, and I mean that's fantastic in itself.
It was never a bucket list thing for me. So it's almost this, because I know a lot of people who have always wanted to write a book, and once they finish, or they may work a manuscript for 8, 9, 10 years. So it was a little different for me. I just decided one day I wanted to write a book. And then, a little less than a year later, I had written one. And I'm not saying that's any accolades to me. It's just, I didn't have a similar experience to a lot of authors who that was their lifelong dream. It was never my lifelong dream. That's changed now. Now my dreams have changed, and you want, to write another one, or write, a successful series, or whatever your goal might turn into. And the publishing world has changed a lot in the last handful of years. When Vince first started, I'm sure he could take almost no one self-published. Almost no. I mean, even when I finished my book, I had never really given self-publishing much of a thought. And now the buzzword is kind of turned into indie author, not self-publishing, but they're synonymous in my books. I thought I was selling books out of the back of your trunk of your car. That's what I thought of. But I'm not very patient. And I know that finding an agent and finding a publishing company and going through that process could take years and may never happen. So I wasn't willing to wait that long. And so I just Googled self-publishing, and page after page after page after page after page of companies who want to help you self-publish, or software, really developed software out there for self-publishing, and a list of really successful authors that I didn't realize were indie published, made me think, why not do this on my own? And that's a tremendous process. That's probably 80% of the publishing process of self-publishing is the post manuscript part of it. The writing's the fun, almost the easy part. The afterward is the real challenge. You have to learn how to format a book. You have to learn how to develop a cover. You have to learn, you got to get your ISBN numbers, and then you have to market it. And that's a whole nother world, trying to figure out how to market and sell your book and get it into the public's eyes. Obviously the 800-pound gorilla is Amazon. And that's not easy. There's only about 40 million books on Amazon. So how do you set from that? That's obviously the most readers are there, but you also can get lost in the mix as well. So it's been an incredible learning experience. One I never thought I would traverse, but and I haven't traversed it yet. I am traversing it, I would say. I learn something every day. There's always a new shiny penny out there, to chase. And there's always somebody telling you how they can. There's a lot. Let me say, there's a lot of sharks out there from people who are a very uneducated public, like most indie authors, debut indie authors are. We're very uneducated in the process, and so that's where the sharks swim. And I made mistakes. I spent a lot of money that for nothing, trying new things, and then I've honed it down to where you find people you trust, and you get into organizations that look out for us, and you kind of band together. And I found people that I have been an incredible help to me, both on a craft standpoint, but also on a marketing standpoint, getting automating my processes. And so you can weed out a lot of the guys who are wanting to take your money, and a lot of it. And that's okay. I don't mind anybody making money. I'm a capitalist. That's great. But I need something in return. And when you don't get something in return, that's obviously a path I don't want to go down anymore. Did we lose you?
Add us back to the stage. There we go.
There, you can hear
There
us.
we go.
I think
All right,
Brad Elder with us, ladies and gentlemen. The name of your book, Brad?
Recoil of Justice.
Recoil of Justice. I love that. That works
Yeah,
for me.
I went back and forth, I don't know how many times on that name. And finally, I just said, I am so tired of trying to come up with a name and going back and forth 800 times. And so I said, this is what it is. And I just went with it. So, and one of the main reasons is, I can read a series and I know the plot line of a book, but I couldn't tell you what book that was or what the name of that book was. So I'm like, well, maybe that's what'll happen eventually, because I'm spending all my time trying to figure out a title here.
What's interesting about that is, looking back while you were talking there, it just popped into my head, excuse me, that in my generation, everybody's favorite book was Catcher in the Rye. I mean, everybody loved Catcher in the Rye. Are there still books like that influence and please so many people by the millions? Does that still happen?
Yeah, I think it does. There's a lot of really famous books, popular books in the psychological thriller, but Gone Girl and some of the Rita McFadden books, and who are just really hot authors right now. I don't read that, the domestic thriller genre as much. I don't read psychological thrillers as much. But I mean, one of the biggest, hottest genres is, romantasy or the fantasy novels, or now there's lit RPG, and I don't even know what that is. Don't even ask me what that is. It's something about living inside of a game. I don't know. I don't get it, but
you're impressed. I can tell. Yeah.
And and you can always tell those authors at the conferences, comic book authors, or I'm sorry, graphic novel authors,
Comic book.
You guys, you can always tell them at the conferences because they got like, I don't know, bunny ears and they don't shower. No, I'm giving them a hard time. There
Yeah.
were some wildly successful authors there, but they're truly art. They look like artists, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And you know, I kind of stay in my lane as far as reading is concerned. There needs to be some action in the books I read. There needs to be some, you know, preferably a little bit of violence. And I need tension. There needs to be tension on every page, just kind of the goal. But whatever format that's told in, I love it. I love some of the noir books. S.A. Cosby is one of my favorite authors, and he tells his thriller stories from the standpoint of a common man, and it's mostly based in Southern Virginia. And but he's still telling a thriller, but not through, the Vince Flynn's direction or Brad Thor's direction or something of that nature. It's told through more of a common man, which is again what I tried to do a little bit, because you always meet these great heroes well on into their life, to where their abilities have been established for years. You meet them later on after they're already tough and they're already cool, and they already know how to shoot and kill people. I wanted a protagonist you kind of meet from that genesis, and he's a normal lawyer handling a normal case that he begins to peel back the onion, so to a point that he realizes that it's far more than he bargained for, and now, out of legal remedies, he has a choice to make whether to cross a line that he swore he would never cross. But if he doesn't, people he cares about are in grave danger. So, and it's his story and how he navigates through that. Not only navigates through just the physical part of it, but coming to grips with the fact that he was capable of doing that. And can he still be the man he was before? And even deeper than that, how he comes to grips with the fact that he's okay with it, and he almost craves it.
Mm.
So I try to explore that emotional side of him, and how he has to look inside of himself and truly decide whether he's the same man that he was, and if he's okay with that, and what kind of man is okay with that.
So I have a question for you. When you write a book, and I asked Vince this many, many years ago, when you're sitting down to write a book, part of that character has to be you, I would think.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
Well, I'll admit it. I mean, parts of it is me. What I tell people is Ryan Wolf is not me. He's the man I wish I was.
There you go. There you go.
Younger, smarter, better looking. But one of my friends read the initial manuscript, and he got on the plane, and he texted me on the plane. He says 6'1" and 180, huh? I said, no, not exactly me. Okay, I'm gonna embellish just a little bit, but a lot of his family is similar. I write some of my family members into that were a big influence in my life. My sister, and I come from a big family, but Ryan's relationship with his dad was very similar to mine. Ryan lost his first wife young, just like I did. And so so some of the emotional hangover from that, I was able to write in, and losing my sister a few years ago as well, who was such a big part of my life. Yeah. I was able to write that in and hopefully make it authentic. And so there are definitely something, and there's some nuggets and there are some Easter eggs that my friends will see and they'll know it's about them, or they'll know it was a scenario that we were in, that no one else will get it. It's just going to be part of the story. There's names that I use of friends in the book, but I have to use somebody's name, right? So right. I may as well, some of the great authors, they will use characters. They'll have the benefactor of a charity, given to charity their choice, and if they donate enough, they'll name a character after them. I don't have that kind of pull, so I thought, well, I'm going to show the nod to my friends who have meant a lot to me over the years, and name some characters after them. And I did get to have some fun with that, especially one of my friends who's, let's just say he fancies himself a ladies' man. Let's just say that.
Okay.
And he's a well-built guy, and he's pretty tall and muscular. Well, his namesake character is 5'8", 160 pounds, and balding. So I made sure that physically he wasn't the same one. So he's going to be ever remembered as not quite as easy on the eyes as he feels like he is.
Brad, do you go on tours, book tours and all that?
No, I haven't. I've had book signings before. I haven't hired a publicist to do that.
Oh, okay.
And it's what's difficult in the publishing world is it's really difficult to sustain really good readership with only one book.
Yeah.
Because if someone reads your book and they go, I really like that. Well, what else you got for me? Well, nothing right now. Can you wait a year? And after you've read the other 30 or 40 books you're going to read, can you please remember me? So that's a difficult process. I plan on doing that probably when I have it, at least when I finish the next one, but more so when I have I've completed the trilogy.
I just you mentioned Grisham, and I was like, I read, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them in a row, and then the next one came out, and I was like, this now feels like he's not even trying, and it feels like the same book to me. I kind of don't like it when there's 25 books of the exact same story. I mean, Grisham to me was like that. Some authors, they're completely different books, right. And it doesn't seem very repetitive, but for me, Grisham did seem very repetitive after a while.
I think some authors fall into let me just change the names a little bit, the facts a little bit, but it's kind of the same plot line.
Yeah.
The same arcs. It's the same tropes. And that can be very good from a commercial standpoint because readers have expectations, and some people who just voraciously read, they want that expectation met, and they use this as a form of entertainment. I'm kind of like you, that I've seen this done before. I'm almost trying to hurry through it, just to finish it. So and I'm not knocking it. And some of that could be from a publisher standpoint. Publishers say, this works. Here's what you're going to do because we're invested in this. And we own the rights to it. So this is what you're going to do. And a lot of, and I don't know about John Grisham. I have no idea. I'm not pointing fingers at any author out there. Many, many, many of the authors that you read, very, very famous authors, aren't writing their own books anymore.
Right.
They're ghostwriters. There's ghostwriters that write them. So, that could be potentially, a pattern, because that's, there has to be a certain voice there that the author's readers are used to and do expect. So I would agree with you, though. And that's one of the reasons I love S.A. Cosby so much. None of them are the same. radically different characters every single time, and incredibly interesting plots and really good character development, which to me draws me into a book, is the character development. The plot is almost not afterthought, because you do have to have a good plot, don't get me wrong, but the character development, and if you truly like this character, you will almost read him doing anything or read her doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that takes a real skill.
Well, we need to stay on top of it, because I did about a week ago. I graduated from a high school in North Minneapolis, North High School.
Not
At
a week ago.
one time,
Appropriately named.
what's that?
Appropriately named.
Yeah,
North
North
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Well, back in the day, and I would say in the 40s and 50s, North High School was the highest rated academic, and it's just a regular. It's not a special school. It's a public school, and it was rated the highest rated public school in America. And
Wow.
things have changed to a point that one person graduated from North High School this year. One person graduated. And so I asked around about that, and I want to close with this, and it's because it's kind of a negative point. So I started doing some research on why would that happen. And apparently, from what I'm told from many, many different sources, that 65% of school children cannot read in America now. 65%. What are we going to do about that?
65% can't read up
Yep,
to their grade level, or just can't.
Yeah.
Because everything is audio now. All the stuff is audio now, so they literally cannot read, I guess.
Well, I guess that's sobering, to say the least.
Absolutely.
It's I don't know. You know, as I should know, my daughter just got a job as an English teacher at a local high school, so maybe I'll have to ask her what we're going to do about it. But you know, are testing standards going down? Are we lowering the bar to the point that get them through? And what I hear a lot of teachers say, we teach to this test, you know, this state test at the end of the year. That's what we are teaching toward, and whatever the state says they have to know, that's what they're teaching toward. But my Lord, you would think they would need to know how to read in order to get by in life, you know. And our world is changing tremendously. You know, there's so many people here go, oh, I don't do math. You just hear, I don't do math. And I'm like, this is simple. It's a simple way to figure this out. I can't do math. Well, because, you know, and they can get by in life just fine. Yep. Are we going to move to a point to where you can get by in life just fine, not knowing how to read? I don't know. I mean, I don't like to stick my head in the sand and be the old fuddy-duddy old man that says, oh, you're going to have to always know how to do this. But reading seems like one of those foundations that we're all going to need for.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so that's plus I want them reading so they can buy my book. I do have an audio book. On that note, I do have an audio book.
Well, there you go. Do an audio book. Hey, your next one, I'll do the audio. You write it, I'll do the audio. You'll sell millions.
I would love. You have a fantastic voice, but you couldn't even read my bio earlier, so I don't know if I want to hire you or not.
No, because I couldn't see it.
Reading glasses.
I didn't have my reading glasses. We just got back from a little excursion, so I didn't have my reading glasses. That was really nice. Yeah. Oh, you couldn't even read the. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Literacy.
Speaking of literacy, Tom, you can't read it all. And no, I think that's a very big part of it. We got to have you back. You're a terrific guest. We appreciate all your time today.
Well, thank you. I would love to come back. Thank you guys for your hospitality, and it was really good talking to y'all.
And the name of the book is
Recoil of Justice.
Recoil of Justice.
Brad Elder.
Brad Elder, and it's spelled ELDER, correct?
That's right, ELDER. They can go to bradeldernovels.com. And I've included a handy dandy link that they can pick it up if they would like to.
You know how I knew your name was Elder, ELDER? Because I can read. We'll talk to you soon, Brad. Thanks for all your time.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know, I just love that when guests are such great people like that. What a good guy, don't you think?
Yeah. Seemed very pleasant.
So
Indeed.
pleasant.
All right, Alex, any closing words?
Nope.
Everything
I have
working over there?
Got nothing so far,
Yay.
despite that one StreamYard glitch.
Yeah, I don't know
We're
why
okay.
StreamYard would do that, but
We're
it does
okay.
things from time to time.
Sure does.
It does indeed.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hanging with us. And we will be back on Wednesday. Andy will be back Wednesday, I think, won't he?
Yes, he is definitely going to be
That's a
back
good
Wednesday.
thing. That'll be nice to have the whole family back together. No question about that. And we will talk to you on Wednesday.